Hey guys, I just really need to get this off my chest, and I felt like it's late, and I'm not going to call anyone right now, so I would film a video just to express it and see what comes out, and then decide what to do with the video. But basically, I recently was engaged, and I ended the engagement, and tonight was kind of like the formal. We kind of signed a letter of mechila, and so that we forgive each other for any pain we may have caused one another, and that we both agree to end the engagement. And I felt, before I went to the office, the based in, to sign the letter, I felt really like sure about the decision, and I felt very peaceful in my heart and very calm, and I knew, and I felt and I thought it was the right thing to do. And so the rabbi had a lot of sensitivity to the situation, and he set it up that I would come at a certain time, and then my chassan would come at a different time, so that we shouldn't see each other. And so when I went, my chassan was outside. I guess he wanted to get there early, but either way, he went, and I didn't want to see him, so I went across the street and I went into a store. And I just waited for him to finish and go in and sign and leave, and then I went. But it was interesting. I didn't want to see him, and seeing him made it harder. It made me feel like he was sad, and I felt like I was absorbing his emotions about it. And whatever feeling of being settled I had felt prior to going, I no longer felt after seeing him. And I assume that's partially because I also had unaddressed emotions, and not wanting to see him obviously is an indication of that, because if I was totally fine with it, it would be fine. We could both show up, I could be cordial and polite and say, hey, how are you, and sign and leave. But I didn't want to see him. So anyway, see, he was outside, and so anyway, I went to the supermarket, and then when he left, I went upstairs. But the reason I feel like I need to get this off my chest is that, I sought advice from whoever I could get support from. And it was a really tough position to be in, and it was really hard. And I felt momish like nothing I said was being heard by him. And I went to my mashpia, and I felt like whatever I said to her wasn't heard at all. Like, I told her all these things that I thought were so outlandish, and when I addressed it to him, he was like, no, that's not true. But he never quite. I just never felt heard. I never felt received. I never felt that whatever emotions or thoughts or reactions I had were valid or validated or accepted by anyone. So I got a lot of pushback from him, and that was really difficult. And then my mashpia heard everything I said, which I there were some really weird things, like some things that I really didn't think were normal. And she said, oh, it might be normal. I just felt completely unheard and unsupported. And so then I went to a woman in the community who's like a respected person, but she's a much older woman, and also felt very unsupported and unheard. And so there was a woman who was advising me and helping me do some research and check out his references and this and that and so on. And she was really the only person who was really understanding my concerns. Perhaps she was feeling the fire too. I think she had given me a lot of concerns. When I told her I was engaged, she was like, well, who is this guy? How do you know him? And so on. And then when I started seeing behavior and changes in the way he was speaking to me, I realized, you know what, she's right. I really don't know this guy. I really do need to do some more research and figure out what I'm getting myself into. When I went to this woman in the community, she really also gave me more fuel for the fire. She told me two things in particular that really hurt about him. And I thought, wow, well, I really can't marry someone like that. It just seemed like a lot of hiding and a lot of lies and a lot of lack of transparency, and also lack of ownership of one's emotions and emotional process. I remember when I was upset about something, I thought to myself, and I was quiet for a while, and then I tried to find a way to express it to him to also take responsibility for what I was feeling. So instead of saying, you did this, you made me feel like this, you did that, I said, I feel very sad when you say, or you tell me the things you don't like, and I was trying to phrase it in a way where I take ownership and I take responsibility for my emotions and my reactions because they're mine. I can't blame anybody for my emotional state or my feelings. So I think that what I really need is just to be heard and to be validated, and I want someone to like reply to this video and say, yeah, of course, you're right, exclamation point. Like I just want someone to say, yeah. And it's interesting because, as someone who didn't grow up religious, I've read a lot of great books on psychology and the human psyche and human emotions and, spirituality and all of these, different authors and sources and schools of thought all seem to agree that it's really important to be an emotionally mature person, to be an adult, and to be able to be in a healthy relationship. You have to take ownership of your emotional state. There's a great quote I love by, I think it's David Schnark, if I remember his name, the quote. I have it, I put it as a bookmark somewhere, so I feel like I have this quote somewhere in my bookshelf. But the idea of like, in order to be in a healthy relationship, you have to be able to calm your own emotions, soothe your own bad feelings, and be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And most people associate those qualities with being single. But the only way to be in a healthy relationship is to be able to deal with those emotions, and understand that they're yours, and to take ownership and responsibility for them. And so, at the same time, that said, there's also a level, or I guess a limit to what you can and should accept from somebody else. Like if someone's being verbally abusive, you don't have to say, oh, I'm upset because he's disrespecting me or insulting me, and that's my emotion and I should just deal with it. No, you also should leave that relationship if you're being verbally abused or worse. It's also okay to say, no, this isn't working for me. And I feel like the older woman in the community, who was a very respected person, gave me 2 pieces of information about him that really made me think, this is not a shidduch, and there's no way I can marry this person. And at the same time, was trying so hard to like save the shidduch. And so I'm not sure if she was just kind of felt guilty that she had said it or contributed to the fact that the engagement was breaking. And so as a result, she tried to do everything in her power to fix it. But in her attempt to repair perhaps some damage she thinks she had done, she also completely invalidated anything I said. When I tried to have a real conversation with her about what really concerned me in a deep way, like really like to a level where I thought I really should not be marrying this person, there was no receptivity. I remember calling her to ask her advice or her opinion on something, and I didn't even get a chance in the whole phone call to ask the question because she was like lecturing me. And that's not a conversation, like in order to feel like you can receive guidance and wisdom from someone, you have to feel that they understand you. And so, she's never going to hear this, video, but if she were to watch this, I would say, thank you, and I appreciate your effort, and I really honestly, genuinely feel that you care and you want to make this work, but none of that matters if I feel like you're not listening to me, or you don't understand me, or you don't value what I think and what I feel, or at least know where I'm coming from. When I tried to explain things to her, it was so like combative. She would just, everything I said was like, no, that's not true. And it's like, okay, my feelings aren't true. Okay, you know what I'm feeling. I don't know what I'm feeling. Okay, tell me, what am I feeling? Oh, I like him. I want to keep this shidduch. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought I want to break the shidduch. Oh, I was mistaken. It's like, momish, like, you have to